All right. So this is I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. So well, this is gonna be a very rambly video, even though it's not a video. But I don't really have um anybody to talk about this. Um, so I guess this is my way of expressing how I feel because I'm very not necessarily conflicted about Vinland Saga season 2 specifically because I just finished it a few days ago or yesterday. Well, 2 days ago, technically. I don't know. It's it's really late over here. Um, but uh, I don't. I, I thought that it was beautiful. I think if I had to say just a word to describe it, it would be beautiful. Get out of here. Um, and uh, this is probably the most. Get out of here, scram. The most. Uh, actually, okay. I'll say consistently. Consistently, this was the most emotional thing I've watched this year. Um, I did watch another movie about this boy who unalived himself, and that made me emotional. Um, that was a good movie, and I also watched Oshinoko. The first episode got me because I didn't really know what was going on, and I like that. I like that anime. I want to read the manga. I have like 3, 4 manga I gotta read. Um, yeah, like I said, this is just gonna be my thoughts on it. I have like bullet points to try to keep me on path, but I might veer off because this isn't. This is just an outlet, I guess. Um, I was gonna say decompression chamber. I was in completely. Excuse me. Completely gonna rip it off of like Trixie, but because this is kind of where I got the idea from. Uh, to be honest, but Trixie's a much better speaker than I am. So I don't know. And plus, it's not really decompressing because I'm not necessarily venting. I'm not really upset, but I guess just an outlet. You know, because to contrary to popular belief, this stuff is still very hard to talk about for me at least. Um, and opening up, uh, still something that's difficult for me. Even though I'm kind of a hypocrite because I tell other people, okay, let me, I'll get. I don't know if I'll ever get to it later, but yeah, I guess this is a way of me opening up. So let's start from my first point. Uh, Ascalad, Ascalad, whatever. Um, just want to talk about him real quick because he's here, you know, he is here, but you know, I really like the way. If I had to compare them, it would be kind of similar to the boss of Metal Gear Solid 3, where they knew. that in order to for the goal to succeed, or for their mission to succeed, that they would have to die, and they were okay with it because they were that strong in their they believed they were that strong in like in their beliefs, right? So they were okay with that. And like I've watched some videos about it, um, but not too many, because I want my opinion to be as like as unfiltered as possible. So excuse me. Um, so that's like to preface this. I only saw like a few. Um, so uh, going back to Ask a Lot, I let me gush about this guy. I really like this character. He pretty much the perfect leader, I guess, kind of like he was strong, he was smart, he was clever, he was cunning. He was so it was so cool seeing him. Um, when I was watching the first season, right? And just to see his story and see how he impacted, Thorfinn, how he he knew so much, and yet he still went along with it, you know. Like I don't know, he was just such a nice character, and he was kind of similar to Griffith, where like they'll say certain things, and you don't know if they actually believe it or not, or you don't know if what they're saying is true. Like these characters are so devious and they're so cunning. I can't tell if you're telling the truth about what you're saying right now, And the ending, the ending of season one, of him dying, and then by Canute, which you know, him being killed by Canute, uh, Askeladd killing the king, and Thorfinn not being able to kill him, robbing him of that. You know, I thought that was just like a how it I guess the climax, right? I thought it was just really cool. Um, definitely one. Askeladd's definitely one of like the best villains. Even if I don't know if you want to call him a villain, like I mean, I guess he is a villain, but the things he was doing were to benefit everybody. So, like, was he a villain? I mean, I guess so, but to I guess to others, he might be seen as a sort of hero, since he got Prince Canute on the throne. He killed the previous king, who was gonna do invade Wales, which like Ascot was like he's gonna make sure Wales isn't harmed or anything like that, right? Uh, he protected Canute. He set Canute up, basically set Canute up and trained him to be a king and be a leader, right? Um, like I just really, and just the dialogue too. He's just such a cool character. Um, like I don't know, he was my favorite character. Definitely my favorite character. I love, I think especially as the older I've gotten, right? Like these type of characters, I really enjoy, and if I ever find these type of characters, I tend to like them a lot more than I used to. Um, so yeah, like yeah, Askeladd is that dude is like the goat. So let's move to Thorfinn since he's the protagonist. Now I did say Askeladd, my favorite character, and he's one of the best villains I've ever seen in like anime, manga, or in general. To be honest, like granted, I don't really take I don't I don't know, like I guess I don't know that much media. Like recently I got into The Sopranos, and I'm really liking that show. Technically everyone in that is like a villain. You know what I mean? and I can see characters are similar to Askeladd are in that show. Like I really like Tony Soprano, like, and I just these type of calculative characters. Um, so you know, if I'm gushing over these characters and you think that oh, there's characters like that already, well, I just don't know. So you know, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, so going to Thorfinn. Now I said that Askeladd, he's my favorite character, but after this season, I think Thorfinn is my favorite character. I gen I think so. Like it's very hard to top Askeladd because like the how he was introduced and his role throughout the show and how he interacted with Thorfinn and helped Thorfinn grow and Canute. You know, um, he was kind of the, I mean, like I guess Thor's was the catalyst kind of, but at the same time, it can be argued that Askeladd was the catalyst for all the characters or all the characters in season 2 that were in season 1. Like, you know, so um I think he's my favorite character. I know it might be cliche because he's the protagonist, you know what I mean? Of course he might be favorite, but like to be honest, I just really, you know, some people say like, I know some people try to dog uh Thorfinn for being very one dimensional in the first season. I don't I don't think he was one dimensional at all in the first season. Um I think it was more so a setup. Like I know in the manga it starts off different than in the anime, and to be honest, I think each either one works of him just starting as a kid and growing up more in chronological order. I think the manga it's like you start a bit when he's grown up a little bit, and then it goes back. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember seeing that like in the manga, at least the first one. But seeing how I, like he was one dimensional because of course the only thing he thought about was killing Askeladd, right? Everything he did was to kill Askeladd. And but I think that worked though. You know, sometimes it's if a character is one dimensional and they stay like that the entire time, sometimes like it can work. It just depends. It's like it's very it depends. It varies. It's a case by case basis thing, right? But ooh, sorry. Um but for Thorfinn, I think it worked very well. And I'll say similar to Guts too. You can say Guts was kind of one dimensional when he first showed up, like in the prologue. But then you see him like cry on that one part, like that one panel, and it's like, wait, what is it? What's going on? You know what I mean? And that's similar to the anime, to the 97 one, where he's like, wait, what is? Why is he doing this? Like, but it makes you more curious, and I was curious for Thorfinn. Um, this person who was like a child when this happened to him. He was trauma. His father was killed in front of him. He won the duel, and then I guess in Viking society, he won the duel. Therefore, he should have he beat him. Fair. It's supposed to be a fair battle, and then as if like reality was like, oh, so there goes gravity. You know, Askeladd was the Eminem of the Vinland Saga world. He said, fuck that. What are you talking about? Honor? That's not how things work. And that's why I like him. He was it so cunning. He was such a good manipulator, you know? But yeah, going back to Thorfinn, like seeing your father, you know, look up, like protect you, and you see him just die like that, it's kind of like it, well, definitely I'll say it stunted his growth. But he wanted to kill him, and he had that as a kid, right? And he was a very young naive kid, as if like he couldn't understand what his father was trying to say about you know, you having no enemies. Like, what does that even mean? He obviously did not understand it, and he wanted a battle. He had a very naive, very black and white view of the world, which is understandable because he was a kid. Of course, he's not going to understand that as a kid. I mean, that's part of maturing. That's part of growing up is understanding the nuances of the world and understanding other perspectives, which happens throughout the first season. Although he's still very much so like steadfast on I'm gonna do this. I don't care about you. I don't care about this. I'm only gonna do this. Um, and he even has his dad haunt him or even dreams about him, which I mean still happens. And I think it goes more into the second season, um, of how he's still being haunted by these things, still being basically he has I would say PTSD. I think it's understand it would it's safe to say he suffers from some sort of PTSD. Uh, but yeah, so to see your whole goal, right, just flash and just disappear in front of you like that, like your goal, your whole life gone, or life goal is just gone, and on top of that, now you're a slave. So I was very curious to see what was gonna happen. You know, I really wanted to see like, is he gonna change? Is he going to like? I was just, I'm like the writing is so good with this show. Like I'm always like asking what's gonna happen next. I gotta see more, man. This is like I was so heavily invested. Um, I pretty much watched the whole thing in a week. I didn't think I was gonna happen, but I just really I love this so much. As you guys just don't understand, I really like this show. Um, it's definitely up there. Like it, I gotta read the manga, but like it's up there with Vagabond and Berserk. Like, and I know that might be stereotypical or whatever. Oh no, because it's like it's violence, it's beautiful art, and it's deep, all that shit. But like, I mean, yeah, what's wrong with that? And I'll go into that when I talk down or I go down to how it affected me, and I think just age. Um, so yeah, like I think from that, and then seeing him grow up, and seeing him have and develop and have a character arc, and slowly change from somebody who lost everything to somebody who found something, I guess. And he's almost a whole 180. It's very, I really like how he is now, I guess. He is so much more um emotional. He's more emotional, and he's more emotionally intelligent, if that makes any sense. Um how like even the way he talks is he's kind, almost soft spoken. Like he is not the way he was when he was with Ascalot's crew. Um, I just genuinely like a lot of parts got to me. Um, with him and how when he was having these dreams and he was like in hell or whatever that place is, and Ascalot was there, and Ascalot was saying these are the people when the skeletons or whatever, I don't know if they're draugrs, zombies, whatever, but when they were grabbing onto him, and you know he's like, or Thorfinn's like, I don't even know who you are. I don't even remember you. I have no clue who you are. You know, at least he's feeling guilt for killing people he may or may not even have to do. You know what I mean? He even said, I just did everything, or I killed anybody, and I didn't even think about it. You know, um, and how he has like the weight, the Oh, that was my phone. I was like, what was that? Oh, I don't know if you heard it, but yeah, like that and so yeah. Anyways, I got distracted, but yeah, like, I was like Ocelot telling him to climb, and his journey is to climb. Bro, shut up, phone. They're supposed to be like on. You're supposed to be on like do not disturb or something. Stop, please. But anyways, Ocelot tell him like his what is it? He has to climb. Fucking guide, dude. I'm just gonna turn off. I'm just gonna turn it off. So him telling him to climb, with those bodies attached to him. Oh, there we go. Now it's on do not disturb. Thanks, phone. Anyways, telling Thorfinn to climb, or Ocelot telling Thorfinn to climb. I thought that was really nice, and like how he just because he's feeling guilty about it and he wants to atone for it doesn't wash away the stuff he did, right? um I think, well, I mean, maybe I don't know I don't know if y'all killed anybody, but it's I would say similar to just everybody has things they're ashamed about, whether it's something small or big, but like guilt is a very human thing, and finding ways to, I guess, move on from it, especially when something like Thorfinn, it is Thorfinn's fault for killing those people. It is like it doesn't make him, and I'm glad they showed it similar to Berserk too. Like they're it's your fault for killing those people. No one made you do that, so like they don't try to like make it seem all this that. No, it's like, no, this he did it. You can't try to find an excuse for it. You have no excuse for it, really. Well, what? This guy killed my dad, so I'm about to kill like hundreds of people. You know what I mean? Like that over your dad, over people who had nothing to do with it, like, um, and just like him, Orphan being scared, like he's genuinely scared, he's genuinely frightened, and he is like very regretful for those things. Um, and like in the beginning of the season 2, like he's very, I don't want to say depressed, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is depressed. But he's very empty. And then as we keep going, we see more. He's empty, but at the same time, he's like sad about those things because he didn't get what he wanted. But then he's still sad about it because it's like he doesn't know what to do. I guess, if that makes any sense. Like he doesn't know what to do anymore. He has no meaning in life. He has no purpose. And on top of that, he killed all those people for nothing. And then he's being haunted every single day about it, right? Um, and then when we get to the after some time, when we get to like near the end, and he's talking about pacifism and like wanting, he doesn't want to hurt anybody anymore. He doesn't want violence, and he's really starting to understand his father, what his father meant by you have no enemies. Let me see. Let me see the way he actually said it. But yeah, I have no enemies. Damn, that should go hard, bro. I'm just telling you that line goes hard. I was gonna say this, but I was gonna say it in the beginning, but I didn't. So I'm sorry. So I'm gonna keep it here. Um, I really, so when he said that I have no enemies, like I that was really like, damn, he really changed. Like he's finally understanding. He's finally found a meaning in life. He's finally found a purpose, and something to like live for. I was reading on like Reddit. I forgot where it was, that they were saying like Thorfinn was finally thinking, or the way he was thinking about like resolving. I forgot the certain strategy. But basically it was something like, instead of a person against a person, it's more of the problem against the problem. I think it's a conflict resolution. Um, but to see Thorfinn, who he's trying to expand his mind, like I thought it was nice when he was sneaking and he was listening to Snake read the Bible, because he just wanted he just was like, he just liked the stories and he just wanted to hear about how, I don't know, how the world is. Um, I don't know, stuff like that was like really cool. Uh, so yeah, moving. Oh, one more thing. When Actually, I'll save it for later. Where's your? Put this here. Mm, there we go. There you go. I remembered it, so I have it there for later. So going to Einar, or Einar, I I had no idea who this character was. I didn't know. And the way the season starts with you being in like Einar. I'm gonna say Einar. I'm sorry. I'm gonna switch between it. Excuse me. And how, yeah, he was kind of like just like the average Joe. Um, just being a farmer, in the village during a time where English, or yeah, the English and the Danes were fighting, right? Uh, so yeah, just like, like I like the setup, and it was very quick. You could say it was kind of stereotypical that all the village would get burned down and stuff like that, but it doesn't work. Uh, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna have to like find a new way to do this shit. But I want this picture to be here. God damn it. So, anyways, going back to it. Yeah. So, what's his face? Shit. Yeah, A&R. Yeah. So it makes sense what would happen. I mean, if you're in a warring state, your village is already attacked, and Vikings pillage, plunder people, right? Of course they're gonna kill everybody again. Of course they're gonna do it again. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of makes sense. And seeing how he was like, it was more an average person gets thrown into like the story. Oh shoot! It was like the average person just gets thrown into the story, and then he meets Thorfinn at his lowest, and he sees him grow while he also grows, and he's learning more. Both of them, I guess you say, learn compassion, because he wanted it. He was about to kill Thorfinn. Uh, One thing I'll say out right now. One thing I like is that when they want to show someone uh rage, someone like raging, they'll just have their eyes be white. I just like that. Um, it reminds me of Broly, the goat. So yeah, like he was gonna kill him, and there are a lot of times where if Thorfinn wasn't there, Anar would have most likely been killed, or even worse, or something like that, right? But I thought it was a I like the dynamic between them and how they really became like brothers. Um, I don't know. The dialogue was nice. I don't know, man. He was a nice contrast to Thorfinn, right? Like, uh, Einar was somebody who I don't want to say like had a personality. Meanwhile, Thorfinn didn't have a personality because Thorfinn had one, but like it's like someone who was kind of filled with life. And it's kind of funny that I say that because Einar is a farmer, and what do farmers do? They create life. They nurture things, right? And then you have Thorfinn, who all he did was take life, and he's completely empty um, from the beginning of the story. So yeah, like I really liked him. I liked his I liked how he would just say like, why don't we just do this? Like with the retainers, like why don't we just go do something to the retainers or whatever? And like Thorfinn would say, well, if you do this, this is gonna happen. This is gonna it's not I don't think it's a good idea to do that. Even like after he stops or when he's finally developing a new meaning or a new like purpose in life, right? Before even like right before excuse me, right before he swears off violence. You know, like Einar's definitely a person who like I guess you could say he has his heart on his sleeve, right? He's somebody who is very um emotional driven, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna say he's an emotional person. I mean, he kind of is, but like it's not a bad thing. It's just how he is. Like when he cares about something, he cares about something, and like Arne, right? And goes right back to or transitions perfectly into her. I liked Arnate. I like her story. I like her. I want to get his name right. I think it's like Baram. Hold on. Let me just. I want to say it right. Mm, Gardar. Okay, Gardar. That's a cool name. I like bro. I didn't know she was a milf. I did not know that. Anyways, the dialogue between her and Anar was cute, and even like Thorfinn was like, okay, he like her. I'm gonna hang back here. You know what I'm saying? Like he was being the W wingman. Like that's how you know like they were becoming bros. So he was understanding that, and he knew that. Okay, let me back off. You know, let's let him shoot his shot. He's enjoying himself, right? Um, but I thought she was a nice character. By the way, there's spoilers everywhere. I thought she was gonna make it, man, but I had a feeling like somebody's not gonna make it. And then we found out she was like pregnant with the master's kid. I was like, yo, what? I thought that like a kid, like, and then like how like we see how she's used, right? Um, as like I'm not like a therapist, but caress. Like I don't know. I don't want to say she's like the whore or anything like that. But he was the dude Kettle. He was hitting that, but at the same time, like she was working on the farm too, and at the same time, like she couldn't buy her freedom, unlike Thorfinn and Einar, because like the only person he or Kettle like, I guess I'm not necessarily like, but he said you're the only person that I can trust with this stuff, you know. So like she was too valuable to him. But like her with Gardar and like, damn, bro, her backstory was sad as shit. So, hey man, we just listened to what the men do, and the men decide, hey, let's go fight. They lose, or no, they get raided and they lose, or they lost. Got the baby taken away. Well, I'm a 5-year old, but you know what I mean. Got the kid taken away, most likely dead. I mean, what else was it gonna do with the kid? Like, kid probably became a slave and died, or some shit like that. And then she gets separated from everybody. Like, it was terrible. And then when dude, bro, I thought, bro, thought he wasn't gonna, man, he killed the, yo. Oh, first of all, the god art thing, right? Okay, but I'm going too far ahead. The god art thing was nice. Um, I enjoyed, I guess, watching that, and I thought it was sad that she didn't tell him that their son was dead, and she just lied to him. Um, I'm assuming the reason why she did that was like, if she told, similar to if Thor, Askeladd being killed and it wasn't Thorfinn, right? And Thorfinn was like, "What?" You know what I mean? Like he had like nothing. If she said that to him, he would probably go off on another rampage or just like break down, just completely just give up, right? Um, and like them, like the scene of him on the carriage bleeding out. I don't know, man. That shit got me, man. And he like blinked, and all of a sudden, like he was in the forest or water thingy, and he's just, I was like, damn, bro, that shit got me. And he was like on her lap. I was like, damn. Yeah, man, she gets beat, and like the dude kills a bit, bro. Like stabbed the baby, bro. By that when he stabbed the baby, I think that was it. Like, damn, bro, I didn't know he straight up, he killed her, bro. And oh man, her death was sad because she basically gave up. I mean, she said it, like she was like, "There's nothing else for me to live for. Everybody that I cared for, and everybody that I love are dead. So what's the point of me even being here right now? Like, why am I here right now? You know?" Um. So yeah, that shit got to me, man. That shit got to me hard. And I thought, man, that's just like someone who's just, there's sometimes with people like in anime, their characters have bad lives or whatever, and it's kind of seen as edgy, or like it's not that interesting. Like they're just doing it for shock value. Arnade is a character I can definitely say that's not the case. You know, um, how she is handled and how she affects Einar and Thorfinn, especially Einar, because he loved her. Um, excuse me, I really liked it. I really really like this scene, and this is the grave site for her. Yeah, I thought it was a really nice piece. The Vinland Saga season 1 and seasons 2 have this good art, manga and anime. Like the backgrounds are like so good. I was thinking of finding one without any characters, just because I just wanted something. But I just got this because this is good. This serves the purpose just fine. The man, bro, that I was like, damn, bro. Like she gave up. Um, see, going from like depressing, sad to Almar, man, this guy was a joke. But I liked him though. Like at first, I liked him because he was so goofy and shit. But especially when the dude pulled out the comb and he was like, greasing it up. I'm like, oh my god, what is this guy? Like, who is this? And he's like Mr. Satan, right? Um, I thought he was goofy, and characters like Mr. Satan. When I was a kid, I actually really didn't like these type of characters, these fraud characters who got credit for stuff they didn't do. But there's like a certain point where like I don't know, something just clicked in me where I was like, you know what? I like these characters, you know. Uh, but the way he was he was handled, right? Of how he was humiliated, like the when he met the king, he did the pork use. You hear the noise and shit, and then he can't even cut it. Like that was funny, man. That was funny. Uh, ooh, that I thought that was great. Let me drink some water. Let's continue, baby. So I at the end when he wanted to give up and he wanted to surrender because he didn't want any more violence. Because he was not like his brother. Um, Similar to, I guess, Thor's and Thorfinn to an extent. Um, he didn't want to fight, but his was a bit different because unlike Thor's and Thorfinn, who who could fight and who were strong, Almar wasn't strong in that way. I guess. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I don't know if we're gonna see more of him um later. I would like to see maybe if he's not like if he doesn't join them in the next arc, I would like to see some I don't know something where it goes back to the farm and we can see what's going on with him and how he's changed. Um, but like him saying like he's not as courageous as brother. He's not courageous as Snake. Like he can't do all that stuff. And he wants to surrender because he just doesn't want to fight and he's scared of dying. Right? Like I mean, there's other characters that kind of said it, but like I don't know. It was just him saying it to them and just rejecting what it means to be a Viking. I guess. Um, Similar to just any societal norms, and when there's somebody who doesn't fit in them or just doesn't believe in them, you know how they're treated. There are plenty of times where like there are plenty of times where something like that happens, or there are people like that who begin to reject what the I think the smart people say social paradigm is, right? And how that can affect them and the people around them, right? So yeah, shouts out to him. And then he said he was inspired by Almar, who's a real man, like a true warrior. So yeah, man, shouts out to Almar. I want to see more of him. Hopefully we get to see more of him. Uh, I didn't put this in here, but I gotta talk about Canute because man, Canute straight is a straight demon, dude. When I found out, or was it Swain? Yeah, it was Swain. Yeah, he said like you poison your own brother. I'm like, damn, why you do that? Yo, straight demon. Like he picked up on Oscar for real about like of being so. Let me make sure I'm saying the word correctly. Calculative and uh never mind. That's not the word. Okay. So yeah, he was just so like I was like, man, he's really changed compared to how he was in season 1 or the prologue or whatever. I really wanted him to meet Thorfinn after all this time, right? And first of all, he doesn't even look, bro. I'm so they're like, is he even is that a dude or is that a girl? Like, who is that in the first season? Now we here and like he looks absolutely nothing like that. I mean, I guess that hey, that's what happens when you hit puberty, man. Those growth spurts. Thanks, to motorcycle. But yeah, dude, I like the king talking to him, the curse thing, similar to Thorfinn, of how like Thorfinn's constantly having these dreams and being haunted by the stuff he did. Now it's kind of like Canute's doing being haunted, but it's this curse, and that's the king talking to him. It reminds me of like the Green Goblin and the Sam Raimi Spider Man, where he's talking to the mask. I thought that's kind of cool, and we just you get to see how Canute interacts with other people, depending on who they are. You know, because he has his master plan, and not nobody can know it because no one's gonna understand it. Everybody has a role for a certain thing, so I don't know. It was just really cool to. It was really interesting to see how he changed, and him finding him trying to find out what it means to be a ruler and what it means to be, well, a king slash ruler, and him having his own idea of like what justice is, and him, trying to find this, create this utopia on like hundreds of bodies, you know, like is it worth it? Like kind of similar to Griffith and him and the Falconia thing, because like Griffith did, I mean, he ended the wars and the 100-Year War, and he created like peace, but like at the expense of how many people, you know what I mean? Um, like, is it worth it? And then when Canute meets Thorfinn, and Thorfinn's like, well, if that's what you're gonna do, and then you have to lead the Vikings, and the Vikings have their own sort of code. They seem very violent. Damn. But like, if there are people similar to Almar who don't fit into that, or nor do they want to fit in that, then I'll lead those people, and I'll find a place for them to where they could, a haven for them, so they don't have to suffer that, or they don't have to be forced to engage in that type of thing, right? I wish there was easier. I wish there was a better way to like be more eloquent with this, but like I said, this is just like off the cuff. But like the oh god, I'm gonna brain fart. The conversation they had after, when he finally met him, right? And the way like Thorfinn basically talked a peace treaty, right? It's like the way he talked did it made sense, and he was naive about things. Yeah. Like he was naive about certain things, but I mean, he didn't threaten him or anything like that. So like, what is Canute gonna do? Like, I mean, I guess he could just kill him, but like, there would be no reason to do that. It's like, so you're not gonna leave this farm alone? No, I'm not gonna leave it alone. So what are you gonna do about it? And he just says, well, I'm just gonna run away. And with let it, he's like, yeah, if you try to find me, I'm just gonna run away. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm just gonna keep running away. I know he was very taken aback from that, considering how he met Thorfinn, and how Thorfinn's like a 180, you know. So yeah, like it. I thought that the final battle, which yeah, technically the final battle is the peace treaty between, or Thorfinn talking to Canute. That technically is the final battle. It's just a battle of words. Um. So yeah, is that politics? I mean, it's considered politics, right? Like Thorfinn didn't even kind of doesn't realize it, but like he was like a politician right there, slash leader, because now he wants to lead these people. Um, so yeah, like yeah, that was really cool. But that kind of goes talking about how the final fight is a fight of words. Uh, it talks about what a bunch of people were bitching about, how like it was slow and there aren't many fights really at all. Uh, yeah, the lack of battles and how talking is a lot more impactful, and it holds a lot more weight in this season. So yeah, like yeah, this season does not have that much fighting in it. Oh. But the fighting it does have though, like usually like, it was like this for season one for the most part. Like the fight scenes all held weight. It's one of the reasons why I like Gundam is because like the fight scenes in Gundam, most for the most part, they all hold weight, or the good ones at least, good series of like it's not we're doing this as a reason to do this. There's actual stakes. You know what I mean? Like if we lose people, okay. If we lose, it's not just gonna be people dying. It's like we lose this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? It's like I like that. I like that when there's stakes. So it even doesn't matter. Like I when I was watching like Zeta, right? I was really like feeling. I was really engrossed. You know. So like it just goes to show that just because your fight scene doesn't necessarily look all that good, you know what I mean? It could be dated animation or dated art style, whatever. As if the writing is on point, I'm gonna like it. If the writing's on point and you keep the reader or the viewer or whatever engaged, it shouldn't really matter. You know. So yeah, going to Vinland Saga season one, the fight scenes pretty much all held weight. There was meaning to them. It was more so fighting ideals slash like when at least for Thorfinn fighting, like he was fighting himself, like his views of only being about revenge were kind of being challenged, kind of sort of being challenged. um so so going to here where like there are less battles, but I feel every battle was even more impactful. Like the fist fight they had, and that was like really where Thorfinn didn't, I guess he became a pacifist. Um, he was when they were fighting the retainers. Like that was, I don't know. That was, I thought it was very admirable. I thought it was very cool. Uh, like that fight scene. Um, but yeah, like it going. I I don't know, man. It's like I don't know why you want it all. I don't get it, bro. Maybe it's because it's. I don't even think it's because I'm getting older. It's just I don't. This kind of leads into Berserk and Vagabond. Um, with Berserk, like all three of these series have really nice art and like really nice fight scenes, but and they all look cool. Like I ain't gonna sugarcoat it, but that's not the reason why I like these things, right? Like the reason why I like them, or it's more than just that. I got into Berserk because I saw certain panels, not just from fight scenes. I just saw certain panels, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" Right? Um, and then I saw certain from things from the anime, the '97 one. I was like, "Man, this looks pretty cool." And then Vagabond, very similar thing. Like I remember, I I saw, I think it was the fight scene between Miyamoto and the Bandit guy, the guy with the sickle. It was like a random panel, but I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" Like, not necessarily just because of the fighting, but I want to see who are these characters, what are they doing, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to know more about it, see, go deeper, I guess. um and all what's there's something that all three of these these stories have in common, or that like not only are the fight scenes impactful and they hold weight and they're actual clash of ideals, but there's also talking points that also hold weight that are very much so the same thing. Like uh like when was it Guts was talking to like the blacksmith, um Miyamoto farming, and now in this one at least, like it was a Thorfinn farming and realizing how hard it is to create life and realizing how devastating it feels when that's taken away. Um, because like, dude, farming's hard fucking work. I don't know about you, man, but farming is so hard because you can do a lot of stuff and still not be able to still, and you still won't get shit done just because like there's things out of your control. Similar to life. Um, and I think that's why that's why they like someone was asking why are these people going these farming things and all of a sudden they're like a different person. Well, first of all, because like farming is just they're learning a whole new skill set. Uh, all at the same time they're realizing like how it parallels to their own life and just or just life in general. I don't know. I think it's really neat. Uh, so yeah. I don't know why people are complaining. Like the talking makes sense. The politics makes sense. Uh, I don't know, they because they don't want to see characters grow. Like I said, I was completely fine with it. Um, so going down to I guess the emotional stuff, right? So, or no, actually, I'll say this thing. I'll say this and then I'll talk about it because like other stuff is more about me. So, do I agree with Thor's or Thorfinn's idea on pacifism? Like you have no enemies. Um, thinking about it, I would say no. I guess like it. I mean, I guess it's how you interpret it, right? He's like no one. Because in my opinion, like I don't really. I used to hate people, but now I don't really hate anybody. But the reason why I don't hate anybody is because I don't know. It's not worth the time. Like who cares at the end of the day? Um, but on pacifism completely, just non-violence. I don't think I could do that. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of how Thorfinn was saying, like, did you really try to talk? Did you really try to understand them, or did you just, as soon as they had their swords, you picked up your swords and you went in the head and started the fight? You didn't actually try to talk to them. I think he said that to Snake near the end. So yeah, like I don't. I'm sorry. I will kind of be with like Snake. It's like I will talk to you, but if you come at me, I'm not gonna just not, or you come at like somebody, I'm not gonna just not. No, I'm not gonna try. Oh, just talk it out. You know what I mean? Like no, I don't think I would do that. I don't trust people enough to do that. If that makes any sense. Is this something like I have to think about? Well, it's something I am thinking about because this season is like a lot more emotional than the first season. Like there are a lot more points where I was like, damn, I was just like I guess in awe, and I was just sitting here just thinking, you know, like uh, the big picture in life. Um, like Arne dying, uh, Thorfinn calling Einar a brother, like it's like that's something Thorfinn would never say. But like now, after all the stuff he's gone through, he actually considers him like a brother, you know, and like a real like brotherhood. Um, I was like this season's really about like creating bonds and uh and yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why. I have this point here, like, why does this make me so emotional? Like, why did I didn't say when he finally I was so happy. Like the way they had it is like the second to last episode, it could have ended right there, but they went the extra mile and they showed us the last episode, which has him finally going back to Thorfinn finally going back to Iceland and meeting his mother. I'm like, oh man, he finally said I'm home, and like he just like was just I'm saying just broke down. I was like, I'm so sorry, and like him like just saying, yeah, I was an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. Like I didn't understand anything. Uh I didn't understand anything of what what my father was telling me, or like yeah, to see somebody so regretful, right? And just I don't know, man, like I somebody who fails and then like keeps trying and trying again. I guess that seems kind of like corny, but like I don't know. I like to see when people redeem themselves. Like I think this is like a really good redemption arc. It's probably one of my favorites. Um, I don't know, man. Like this, I don't know why all this shit was making me emotional. I think that part, like all the stuff, all the three things. Now, granted, you could say because it's at the end of the season, but like all these things I just said are kind of back to back to back. Like, are they dying and giving up? It's saying there's no point in living, you know. Um, and then Thorfinn saying, I don't. She said there's no point in living, and I don't. I want to create a place where there's even if like words, death is not the option. Death is not like freedom in her eyes. You know, like that was like the only thing she could do. Um, and like that steeled the resolve of Einar and Thorfinn to of like creating or finding Vinland and actually creating a nation in Vinland, right? No, I don't know, like it shit that shit hit me. Um, yeah, drink some water. So I think the last one I talk about is me getting older and how it's affected me. Maybe I think I think this is definitely similar to Berserk, similar to Vagabond. Even though I haven't read, I gotta go back to Vagabond. But and I'll say welcome to the NHK. I'll put that in there as well, even though like it's not a seen as those three, but like these all these three things are things that I think I would say they're very important to me of like what I like. Some of these things I've seen when I was older, like Vinland Saga. I saw I didn't read the manga. Um, I read it or I saw it like when I was an adult, pretty much. Berserk, I read or watched when I was younger, and Welcome to the NHK and Vagabond, yeah, so I was younger. Um, but one thing I find is that like the older I get, the more I understand what the mangaka is trying to say, or author, or the character. Actually, the characters, but like you know what I mean, like how I agree with them, or how I understand what they're trying to do. Excuse me, or like why are they doing these things, and I think it connect with me more. Um, so I think it's just because this is definitely going back to the Sopranos I was saying earlier. I would definitely like the Sopranos. I would not like if I was younger. Especially like I think around 18, I'll probably like it 18, 19. So, but yeah, I really like the show now, and it's just like it's just grown folk shit. I don't know the Tony and just the other characters, but I'll just say Tony for now. Tony is dealing with like problems you don't understand as a kid, and you won't. It's just things you just don't get until you understand. Like you're an adult. You you have to see the world. You have to experience the world, right? And I think that's just the great. That's like the one of the most beautiful things about art is that how timeless something can be. um, and how, depending on your age or depending on when you see it, it can impact you in some way. Or if you go back to it, you have a new perspective on it, right? Um, like Welcome to the NHK hit me now way harder than it did when I first saw it when I was like 15, I think. Like Berserk now, if I have to go back and read it, like, that's just gonna hit me harder. It's gonna hit me way different. Of somebody, or all these characters with Miyamoto, Guts, Thorfinn, um, characters who struggle for so long and they go through so much, right? But they keep going. Um, Knowing how hard, or despite how hard it is, and knowing how hard it is, they keep going. And like, I don't know, that shit hit me. Uh, I don't know. It's like I wish I could be like that. That courageous. You say, well, it's fictional. I mean, yeah, but like it's that's not the point. The point is the message. You know, how to just keep going when even when things are hard. You keep going. I try to do that. No, I shouldn't say I try to do that. I do that. But just because I do that doesn't mean it's necessarily successful. You know, but for me, it's like this stuff is all I have. Uh, or I shouldn't say that. I mean, I guess to be specific, like music. Um, I don't know. It's a passion that I've had. I still had it, and I lost it. But like, lost it as a way of like I couldn't do it, and I think I was very similar to Thorfinn, where like there was a time where I felt really empty. I didn't feel like there was a purpose in anything. Uh, I didn't feel like there was like a purpose to even be alive. Uh, so you know, I don't know. I was living to die. I was really just a zombie, because I don't know. Uh, but yeah, like making music and doing stuff now, it's difficult. It's much harder, but I still do it because it's something I love. Um, and I want to keep doing it until I die, preferably until I die. Um, so yeah, just like how these characters still struggle and are going to continue to struggle, they keep going. And I think it's beautiful. If I had to like say it in a word, um, beautiful. I think Vinland Saga season 2 was a beautiful season. And so far, I think this entire series is beautiful. Um, so yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say. Hopefully, everything worked out. I think maybe. So this wasn't that hard to do, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's just rambling at this point. So I think I'm gonna end it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I probably will have some other stuff, but um maybe I'll say it in a stream or something like that. But hopefully this is a way for me to like open up um in a way where like I won't be closed off, if that makes any sense. So before I leave, I want to read the poem because I really like the poem. I was gonna read it at the beginning, but I completely forgot. But I'm gonna read it. Do I have any water left? I don't think I have any water left, but I'm gonna read the poem. Let's see. Carve. Carve it into the body. Carve it into the ground. Carve it into the ocean. Carve it into your enemies. Carve it into your prey. Carve. Carve. Carve that warmth into me. So you guys have a good morning, afternoon, evening. So thank you. If anybody listens to this, thank you for being here.